What a plug.
And tonight we are doing our episode commentary for the final episode of Season 1 of The Walking Dead, TS19. So we've come full circle, as they say.
I can't wait. I haven't seen it since it aired.
I think I might have seen it after that, but only in preparation for when we talked about it after we aired, so it's been a while. Aaron, you said you watched Wildfire last night, right?
Yeah, I watched Wildfire to get myself caught up on the the story, even though there's 6 episodes. But yeah, and I'm excited to watch this. I watched it a few times because I think I wrote about this episode. Actually, yeah, that was one of the first things that was on the site, on the HHWLD site.
Did you run Colin Wildfire? After you watched it, did you run Colin Wildfire? I guess that's a no.
And as another plug, you can of course check out all of Aaron's awesome text reviews on hhwlod.com, including he just put up his review of the movie Drive, which we both agree is awesome. And you can check out his podcast, Out Now with Aaron and Abe, every week on hhwlod.com or on iTunes, where they talk about all kinds of new movies that are released every week and review them, talk about old stuff, and it's generally a really fun show.
Yeah, we're on there. We're trying to have fun. Yeah, check us out.
And of course, Brad Show, because that's the only one we haven't talked about yet. Half Hour Wasted every Monday is also on hhwlod.com. It's also a lot of fun. They talked about DC Reboot this week. Last week it was fantasy football. Before that it was music and a whole bunch of other stuff. So there's a wide variety of topics all over the place at hhwlod.com, including Walking Dead TV. So maybe we should talk about zombies.
I wanted to shout out to Tammy Klein. She's a listener of our show here, and on Twitter she is That Amuses Me. Anyway, she sent me and Frank and Bill an email saying that she started listening to Half Hour Wasted a couple of months ago, and she heard about it through The Walking Dead. She loves the show, and she can't wait to hear what is to come, she says. So that's very cool. Thank you for listening.
Rock on. That's awesome.
Well, if we're doing shout-outs, I'm gonna shout out to the Dicks and Vixens because I've been, especially with BDS Murph, I believe. I got to listen to the episode where they had the Dragon Con. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think this was last week.
Dragon Con. Yeah, they taped that whole Walking Dead panel there, and that was quite entertaining. I enjoyed listening to that.
Tammy Klein is a member of the Dicks and Vixens as well.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, both those panel episodes were pretty awesome. Even when they didn't have the actual stars on there, there's lots of laughs to be had. So I really enjoyed listening to those.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Brad, do you want to talk about our sponsor this week before we get into the actual commentary?
I'll briefly mention them. I'd like to jump right into this commentary. So you guys visit dcbservice.com. It's a mail-order comic book service. You can get up to 40% off of most of your Marvel and DC books and a lot of your Image comics, which is where The Walking Dead is published. You can also visit instocktrades.com. That's their sister or brother website where they sell hardcovers and trade paperbacks, and you can get those for a vast discount as well, at least 38% off on most of those things, and you can pick up all the Walking Dead hardcovers and trade paperbacks and omnibuses and all that stuff. So patronize them, and if you do for the first time for DCB service, you can use WD8 as a code and get an extra 8% off of your first order. So that's instocktrades.com and dcbservice.com.
And if you do that, send us an email, comments at walkingdeadtv.com, because we'd love to know who's following that link and making some of there. So that's awesome.
Let's jump into this.
Let's do it. If you're on disc, it's going to be 2 seconds in is where we have our files paused, Blu-ray or DVD. And if you're using an iTunes copy or presumably Amazon as well, you're going to be 7 seconds into the file. You should be looking at a wooden door in a white room with the number 450 next to the door.
Can you guys see the very top left corner of the door frame?
Top left, yes. Top right is slightly out of frame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same here. Same here on both of those accounts. So we're all in the same place, so that's awesome.
So listeners, get your files queued up, pause this, queue it up, and then come right back and we'll get started. All right, so we're going to count down 3, 2, 1, go, and then everybody unpause their video at the same time, and we'll get right into this. 3, 2, 1, go.
The door just opened.
We're gonna finally find out what's in that hatch. Oh wait, that's later.
So this was our first and pretty much only substantial flashback, not counting Rick's in the beginning, the first episode of the pilot.
Man, this scene right here, holy cow. When I was, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I mean, gosh, this is just, it's just heavy duty stuff going on here, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos going on.
And we obviously know that this is a flashback because they're soldiers and all that kind of stuff, so. And if that's not a dead giveaway right there, what is?
Now, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a lot more flashbacks in Season 2. It'll be interesting to see whether they're pre- or post-zombie apocalypse, what characters they focus on. But I think they handled this flashback at least pretty well. It definitely opened up a lot more discussion on Shane's motivations, what he knew or didn't know. And if it serves to give us more content to talk about, it can't be bad, right?
Yeah, for sure. I've said in the past that Shane, I think, is the most interesting character on the show thus far, and it certainly was a huge way to make him more relevant and even more interesting than in the comics in some ways, given his lengthier presence.
I know we worked out at one point exactly, give or take, how much time this would have been, but I've already forgotten.
I don't know that we ever could all really
officially
agree on it.
Oh, that's true.
Say a good 6 weeks at the least, though.
I just turned my subtitles on.
Yeah, that's how I roll. Caught between a zombie and a hard place.
I think it's interesting that as soon as they turn the corner, he can smell them.
Yeah, that is an interesting point. And it's that bad that he has to actually cover his mouth. I forget who pointed it out, but that's not the same bed that's actually in front of the door when Rick does wake up in episode 1.
It was some nerd, probably.
No, clearly the zombies moved it and put another bed in its place because they're things of pattern.
It was a feng shui issue. That doesn't go away after you die.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. Just because you're dead doesn't mean you can have style.
We're getting close to Season 2, fellas.
I know, right? It's less than a month.
Can you smell it?
Well, that's the episode, but
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Okay, now let's find out what's in that hatch. That was a good, just to go back to the previous episode, that was a lot of good Rick in like the end of the episode. He's pounding on that door. He's really selling the character and just him putting it all out there and trying to get the CDC.
Yeah, I think that Englishman has done a really nice job.
Sure. Who had a birthday, I guess, like last week, I believe?
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that on Facebook.
I think Andrew Lincoln's birthday was last week from this recording. Here we go, here's Jenner. Has anyone ever pointed out that Jenner is an obvious kind of nod to Edward Jenner, who invented the smallpox vaccine?
Yes, I believe we have. No, it was probably somebody like Jordan.
I remember talking about it, but I certainly did not know it off the top of my head.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned it on the show.
Okay.
No, it's a nice little nod. Even though he doesn't quite invent the vaccine.
Which is another nice little, we're comparing it to Lost in many ways because of the hatch and stuff, but Lost had so many different characters named after famous scientists, famous philosophers. And they're, of course, not the only show to have ever done that, but it does bring to mind Lost in a good way.
Elevator scenes.
This makes me want to go watch Super 8 again. Now that I'm seeing him.
November.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that. He was a general or something, right? Military
Something
guy.
like that.
Vi. Written by Frank Darabont, was co-wrote this.
Did he get a co-writing credit for every episode though, or all but one or something like that?
Maybe, I don't know. I just
No,
happened to notice it here.
Yeah, not under. I was curious.
That ring of light in the ceiling reminds me of, what was it? How I Learned to Love the Bomb. What was that?
How I Learned to
Strange
Love
Love?
the
Yeah.
Love you talk about?
Doesn't it remind you of that?
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Well, this whole setting kind of has a. Honestly, I think of Goldeneye every time. I think of Control Room. Yeah, actually, I'm looking it up now. It's like Frank Darabont did be able to get a writing credit on every episode except for Vatos too.
She needs some cookies and some orange juice.
He only got a developer credit on each one, but a written by credit on the days. Yeah, the first episode Days Gone By, Guts, and TS19.
This scene was just such a change of pace for the whole show.
Yeah, people were smiling.
And soon at least they will be showered.
And I don't care what you say, a mom wouldn't let her son, even in the apocalypse, try some alcohol.
I think that's really that might be a regional thing. Because while my parents certainly wouldn't, I know plenty of parents who probably would. Interesting. The whole building is so well, it's almost overlit, except for this one room that just has a single light bulb table.
I wonder if the CDC has a gift shop somewhere.
They probably have those plush diseases.
Yeah, Dale's smiling. Shane's not, but it's probably because the chair in his pants.
That's obviously grape juice, right, that they're drinking because of the bubbles around the top. I mean, wine doesn't bubble up like that, does it?
So CDC wine.
Some great acting from him this episode.
From Jenner, from November.
Yeah, sorry. Definitely from him.
Yeah, for sure. For a character who's only in this episode and the last one, he just sort of makes a presence, and who knows, maybe we'll see more of him in the second season in some form of flashback. I doubt it.
His face lands on one of the vehicles as they were right away.
Or he comes back to life as a burn victim zombie.
Every time I see Laurie Holden, she just gets cuter and cuter.
Is that Sophia there still holding the doll she was given by the other girl last episode?
Glenn.
Finally, the shower scene.
I thought this was interesting because you really can see, what's inside them right now, their emotions. They're happy, they're relieved, they're happy. Rick's a little in the mood there.
Yeah.
And then we got Shane.
Drinking in the shower. I remember this.
He's pissed.
That's how he said he is. He's drinking in the shower.
He is.
I always find the Southern Comfort is better in the shower.
And Laurie she's lost. She doesn't know what to do without Amy.
Is that a bandage on her knee?
Mhm.
Yep.
Did she get cut in the previous episode?
Dale's so good.
It's weird how he always uses up all the shampoo though.
He got some bushy eyebrows, didn't he?
Well, they're not quite Scorsese level, but they could use some trimming.
The apocalypse just left in no time. Jim took the eyebrow razor.
We've seen in some of the season 2 promos, we've seen Laurie really wanting to get out. Wanting to, she's talking to Shane like, "Hey, if you go, I'm going. I don't have anything here."
Laurie Holden.
Yes, Laurie Holden. Thank you,
Andrea. Sorry.
Andrea. Thank you very much.
No, that's why I was confused for a second. I was like, wait, what? I missed that promo.
Rick's a little bit it's a tricky room to walk around in. Well, I'm excited to see where things go next season with all the characters. I mean, since this is the end of the first season, like especially things like characters that didn't have as much to do, like Rick's son, Carl, given how much Rick has done to do with his family, it'll be neat to see more of that play out in the wake of this apocalypse and how that translates to television versus reading the comic.
Right. And now they've whittled down the cast a little bit in this episode. Previous episodes, and it doesn't look like they're adding too many new people. Hopefully, more on Irony Singleton and T-Bone. I'd like to see, especially because he's a new character, but also, Daryl and possibly Merle.
Of course, Daryl. Do we know if Norm Reedus is he officially part of the cast or is he still special guesting?
That I do not know.
I'm not sure if we know that yet.
And then what's Ed's wife's name?
Carol.
Her character in the, as I remember at least, in the show is substantially different from how she was portrayed in the comics. So that opens up a lot of interesting storylines that they could do as well.
Okay, here we go with this scene. There's another one where you put Shane in that place of you can't quite like the character, but there's despite his actions here, which are abhorrent, like he's not doing, he's drunk and he's not doing things that are of right mind, but certainly not too forgivable. But it makes the way how he's trying to relate to Laurie and what he's gone through and how he can try to explain what's happened. Like it makes him a very interesting character. And his pants are way high.
I thought it was an interesting writing and production decision. So, the beginning of this episode, before the beginning of this episode, we thought of Shane a certain way, and then they kind of buy him back a little bit in the beginning, only to in this scene, I don't want to say ruin all that they bought back, but they kind of one step forward, two steps back type of thing. And that gives a lot of interesting depth to the character.
For sure, yeah. Which will once again just makes it very interesting as to how things will play out in the second season.
Right, for various reasons.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to Jenner, John Bernthal, I think he does very strong work here throughout this episode, really.
I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Are you, for season 2, are you interested in seeing more character-centric episodes? And by character-centric, I mean like an episode that focuses mainly on Shane or mainly on Laurie or mainly on Rick? Or do you want to see episodes that kind of deal more with the group? Or do you want to mix?
I think if it did for me, I think if it did too much character-centric stuff, even with this episode, you already kind of, you think lost a little bit too much. I think it'd be a little bit, I know they wouldn't necessarily be going for, like, let's make it more like Lost, but it would certainly, I'd have that in the back of my mind if it was, specific characters with even with flashbacks, which I assume they're probably going to do, like,
that's true. If they married both of those stories,
yeah, it'd be like, whoa, what are we doing here? But certainly, I enjoy the group aspect a lot, especially, like, in the comics and how that goes. So I'd like to see that handled in the future episodes, not necessarily from, like, let's fight all these zombies standpoint, but just how this group dynamic plays out in the wake of a zombie apocalypse. I'd be more curious to see those kind of episodes. I mean, yeah, a mix would be, the best kind of thing, because, you get to learn about these characters in general, but I always enjoy seeing the group, work through what this zombie apocalypse, how things play out in terms of the new kind of order that they need to establish for themselves.
You can't do one type of episode only. You got to have a mix. And that's what makes the comics so good. You got issues that deal with just people, and then you got issues that deal with the group, and then you got, issues that are when you don't even see a zombie.
Yeah. Right. That's always one of the greatest things when I watched the original Dawn of the Dead, the George Romero Dawn of the Dead, where you go a good hour really without dealing with zombies, where it's just 4 people trapped in a mall.
Yeah, except for the opening at least. Yeah, once they're there for a while.
Yeah, like once they get settled into the mall, you just get this really long, just middle section of just dealing with all the characters and how they're handling the situation, and just like maybe you see a zombie in the background, but they're not like the focus of things. And that's that's why I really enjoyed the book, and why I like to hope to enjoy the rest of the series as well, because it's very much zombies in the background, and it's cool to see zombies in general. Like that's why I like that's what draws us to the show and to this genre in general. But seeing character work above the zombie action, it's why it shows on AMC, I guess.
Nice little look there between Laurie and Shane. He says, it's not like me at all to do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed earlier, before the scene with Laurie and Shane in the library, they had a wide shot of this room, and on the wall was a red clock with a countdown going. It was real brief, might have been 2-second shot, but if you were paying attention, you could see that countdown had already started.
I had not noticed that. That's cool.
That's the clock right there on the back.
Right, at 1:08, interestingly enough.
Lost humor.
His whole speech here is just so great. You feel like you know this character, even though he's only been on screen for less than a combined 30 minutes over the last 2 episodes.
I like to think that Daryl's listening to all this going, huh?
Speak English. I forgot about that line.
You don't make sense, Ever? This is cool because we get some explanation as to what's happening, the science behind it. So
kind of.
Yeah, we can understand, but we still don't know why it's happening or the cause, how it all started, which is good. I think that's important. But just feeding us enough of this to kind of keep us interested, I think was a really good idea.
Kind of how I thought about fantasy football after the last episode. I feel like I understand how it works, just not why people love it so much, except for Bill.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it was really interesting, actually. For anyone who's interested in fantasy football, check out that episode. I definitely feel like I didn't understand all the technical aspects of it before. Now I definitely feel like I do.
Having all this technical jargon that Jenner's going through, it kind of, for me, like I get what they're trying to do. It kind of teetered on the edge for me when they first started bringing it up. It's like, they're not going to do this. Are they like explain things? Like that's not true for the fans of Walking Dead. But I like how it was handled. It was just basically a scientific way of saying we don't know, but someone was bitten and it's gotten worse. Of course, as everybody knows, the zombie outbreak occurred from a giant hole in the center of Atlanta that needed to have a plug stopped in it, but the smoke monster managed to get out, and those zombies were.
I thought it was the Saturn V rocket or whatever when it returned to brought back. Wasn't that from Dawn of the Dead or from Night of the Living?
That was Night of the Living Dead. Gas. Which, of course, the satellite landed on top of a rage-infected monkey, which went on to spread the disease.
Great little look from right there when he said, but they're not alive. Like, I haven't actually been killing people, have I? I feel terrible that I can't remember her name, but the actress who plays Sophie's mom looks like a more attorney from ER.
You think so?
She
was just on a couple episodes of
Rescue Me.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say she was just on Rescue Me with shaved head because even the actress just went through cancer. And but with the short hair, they have a very similar face.
Talking about the girl that was on news radio those years ago.
Yes, more serious.
I don't think they look alike at all, but I haven't seen her lately. So
Yeah, look up a picture of her with the closely shorn hair, and it's interesting.
I can see what you're getting at there a little bit.
I say she has a smaller face though, if that makes any sense.
So we get the information here that this is happening, all over the earth, basically. That everybody's experiencing this.
Which reminds me of the helicopter from episode 1. You think we touched on that at all, season 2?
Man, I sure hope so. But you know what? I always forget about that helicopter. See, look, Dale just points out the countdown.
Yeah. That's not just the time till dinner clock.
This is when
Go ahead,
sorry,
sir. I was
no,
gonna say, I'm not going to name character names, but I still wonder if that helicopter is connected to an as yet seen character from the comics,
Possible.
and how much more terrifying it could be if that character has a helicopter at his or her disposal.
Well, I bet they won't forget about that helicopter because it really, they planned this.
Right. Yeah, don't let it off as a hallucination.
Nothing here doesn't happen for a reason.
I thought they forgot about that grenade in the first episode, but boy howdy, it comes back here.
And boy, does it.
Speaking of the comics, I found out that the next hardcover comes out October 18th, 2 days after the series begins. So
Oh, nice.
that has me excited.
That must mean a new new soft covers around the corner too, doesn't it?
No, that's volume 7, which contains trades. Well, possibly yes, but
Trade 14 is out already.
13 and 14 will be included in that new hardcover.
How similar is this to the fetch quest you're doing in Dead Island, Aaron, where you have to go find the barrels? I need 6 barrels of gasoline to power the generator.
The quests I've been on Dead Island are mainly involving selfish people that want to get their jewelry or their loved ones.
Yeah.
Selfish things like that.
I wonder if this part was shot in the basement of the Performing Arts Center where the rest of the CDC is, or whether it's a completely different location.
Well, if they're on location filming in Atlanta, it could be. Who knows?
I want that Science Dog t-shirt.
You could probably buy one.
Yeah, but it involves money. I'm a poor student.
I thought it was strange that Jenner shows up here with shirt and tie. I'm like, why is he dressing up?
You know, he wants to be well presented when he dies or something.
Yeah, but at this point, we don't exactly know
No,
what's going to happen.
but even
No,
if
that's
he knows he's going to explode. I want to be comfortable when I was going.
I can see where he's coming from on this. He's preparing for his end, and he's going out the way he wants to.
My Southern Comfort.
Holding out the way.
If they just turned around now, they'd be fine.
He seems extraordinarily calm.
Yeah. I guess that's what happens when you resign yourself to a fate.
Yeah, what's done is done. For him, anyway. Yeah,
Now, if he's recording all this, that means it's being sent presumably to someplace not in the building, since the building's going to explode. I wonder if we ever... That actually might be an interesting way to bring his character back in some way.
that's what I was just thinking, yeah.
You know, someone else has been watching. Granted, that's another very lost thing to do. The other station. But
Could be broadcasting it at the same time.
oh, you think he might put it over over the airwaves?
Yeah, possibly.
That could be. It'd be interesting to know whether the CDC, the real CDC, has direct broadcasting capabilities.
I would think in this day and age they would.
Yeah. Well, this is broken.
He probably got fed up with Shane's pants. It's like, this is how I'm going out? Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. That's...
Look at the nasty sunburn from that.
What a downer this guy is. Dale's looking at him like he's an idiot.
There we go.
Because it always works to throw a glass bottle at a locked door.
And then this plan, axe. 2 axes. It ain't. Oh, that's... Well, let's not make this about me.
The everything part.
Now, when this episode initially aired, I wasn't the biggest fan. I did not like this episode, but it wasn't my favorite among all of the 6. And it kind of had to do mainly with all this stuff, because it was... I certainly did not believe that all the characters were about to die in the last episode of the first season, and it just kind of felt like false tension to me, because I didn't quite get into the the situation because I knew there'd be a way out. I was really curious how they get out of it, and I think the episode does pull it off quite well. But still didn't say it's one of my. It's in the lower half of my episodes that I prefer this first season, which I still like this whole season overall. The episodes I think are quite good in their own ways. This one just wasn't my favorite.
It's much more successful in the tension when it's focusing on like a single character like Lori. Will Lori choose to? Andrea, sorry, I'm doing it too. Will Andrea choose to stay behind? But yeah, you're right on this large scale level.
Yeah, any other character you do lose is
Jackie.
Jackie, who can barely remember her name. And,
well, I mean, for somebody who doesn't know the comics, they don't know that any upcoming stories for Andrea.
That's true. That's a good point actually for people that aren't familiar with the comics. I imagine it works better for them on that level. Although I mean, still you're not gonna kill off Rick and Shane and Lori.
Right. The moment they have it is all the characters or any main character to die in such a dumb way, it loses some credibility.
Could have been an interesting way to take out Shane. I wouldn't have seen that coming.
People would have been ticked though.
They're like messing around. He's back there at the door again.
He's still good.
He's like, screw this stuff.
Yes, clearly he should be thinking with portals.
Oh, if Vi all of a sudden turned into Gladys, that would be amazing.
And then it says, everyone just relax. Everyone just relax. Let's have cake.
The cake is a lie.
Mm-hmm. Next season, they'll run into a British guy who tries to pull the same thing. Played by Stephen Merchant.
Those people out there are wondering what the heck you're talking about.
Portal. Play Portal. Portal 2.
I'd like to think the people that watch The Walking Dead listen to this podcast are familiar with Portal.
Actually, if you're listening to this episode within about a week of it being released, I think you'll still be able to get the original Portal for free from Steam. They've had it for free for it's like a span of 2 weeks or something.
For the PC?
PC, Mac. Well, yeah, PC and Mac, yeah. But yeah, it'd be worth the original purchase price, but it's definitely worth free. It's an amazing game, and it won't take too much of your time. No zombies yet, but it isn't the Half-Life universe, so there technically are zombies around.
Here comes the whisper. Your fly's down. See, look at he's like, your fly's down.
Yeah, that's another thing. They better not go too long without answering what the heck he just said.
It clearly affected Rick because he looked like he was about to pass out or something.
Was there did you guys have like a poll or something, or like a tweet off of like what do you think Jennifer said to?
I mean, there was a lot of people who went the Lori is pregnant route. However, granted, this could be a complete bluff on their part. The producers did say in between seasons that's not what it is. That would be the obvious route, and it's not going to be that.
I'd like to think, yeah, I think that's.
But in that case, what could it be? I mean, they never mentioned the helicopter around him, did he? For him to be like, you weren't hallucinating or something.
Maybe he said something about Shane doing something.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was another. Some people said perhaps he saw on the security cameras Shane assaulting Lori.
Or, I don't think you said this. Lori's pregnant, but it's not yours.
You could be. It's amazing those axes are still in one piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's the CDC brand. It's made of unobtainium. I'll use this chair.
It's much sharper than the axes. I love that combat shotgun.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
Breath? Oh, no, wait.
It's the next page of the script. What is now going to be now?
Soon. Man, if these guys had a portal gun, there's so many troubles would be just easily handled. I think life could be handled better with a portal gun. Great effect of Rick being in the air when it goes off and just kind of flying forward towards the camera. And a great example of cool guys not looking at explosions.
Yeah.
If he did, I think his eyeballs would be gone.
If it was cool, he would have walked away slowly without looking.
He'd be in the upper echelon of cool guys that don't look at explosions, but he still managed to not look at the explosions. So it's pretty cool.
Jackie's like, no one's going to try to talk me out of this?
Well, T-Dog already did.
That's true.
It's crazy eyed Dale right there.
Jeffrey DeMunn's selling. I don't want to die. I'm leaving. Come on, Dale, let's go.
The matter is settled. Oh yeah, we got some good kills coming up here.
Mm-hmm. And didn't
Here comes Daryl with 2 axes.
Didn't he say that was an improvised thing in one of the panel discussions we heard?
It was something like
I
that.
think we asked him. I think we asked him when we interviewed him, and we asked him about that. I think he
Made up some core.
didn't he said, hey, what if I do this?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It didn't, I believe, like Chandler Riggs or Carl, he said something about like Daryl almost hit him with the axe. When
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's a rubber axe, but still, it still hurt.
So Jenner and Jack are totally making out right now, right before it ends, right? yeah, there you go.
4, 3, 2, 1, boom. See, the timing's off.
Well, they're still on dial-up, so it takes a while for the signal to reach the igniters.
I think it's cool
right now.
that you didn't. And see, this right here, this is just.
Yeah, it starts out kind of cool, but then you see this stuff, and it's
CGI. This is just a really bad effect shot, if you ask me. Unfortunately.
You got to do what you can with the budget you get, but yeah, it didn't really.
Yeah.
I never noticed the palm tree on his dash before.
It matches the shirts.
That's true. And he's got the lays hanging from the roof.
And Dale, he likes to take it easy.
Now, season 2 is going to pick up not just where this ended, but apparently like 5 seconds before. So I wonder if
Oh, I thought it was 5 seconds after.
I'm pretty sure he said 5 seconds before that would overlap. But either way, I
Because that matters, right?
Yeah, really. I mean, basically, it's going to pick up right when this leaves off.
So we don't have to worry about it 6 months later.
5 seconds before, which is where we see Merle sneaks up onto the camera from behind him or something. He's like, hold on. It's like De Niro and Cape Fear. He's just holding on.
He's underneath the camera like Indiana Jones, or like Keanu Reeves from Speed.
Let's go more obscure. Sideshow Bob and the Simpsons episode where it's Cape Fear.
Okay, so we got Rick driving that.
They got the convoy going, yeah.
Shane and Daryl were the last 2. I couldn't figure out.
Yeah, Shane's like in the Jeep and Daryl's in the other one.
The truck with the
And
motorcycle.
your other drivers are T-Bone,
T-Dog.
T-Dog, Carol,
Yeah.
Dale, Lori, possible driver.
We faded to black from the smoke monster that escaped the CDC.
So that was season 1.
And we still haven't heard crap about whether Michael Rooker is being involved in season 2 yet, have we? I think that's
I'm amazed they've been able to keep that under wraps so long.
Yeah, it's
Assuming that there is something to keep under wraps.
Oh, we gotta know what's coming. Like I
Well,
was,
it's coming. I just said I'm glad they've been able to keep any details.
it's a closely guarded secret for sure.
I got a poster from Comic-Con on the back of it. It said hashtag Where's Merle. I mean, they got something planned. We'll see what happens.
I forgot about that. That's right.
I haven't heard of that. That's pretty cool, actually.
They're pushing that big at Comic-Con panel or at the booth on the floor. They had all the booth pages saying, hashtag Where's Merle on your Twitter for Walking Dead.
Were the Walking Dead booth babes dressed up like zombies?
No, they were just wearing AMC shirts. I would prefer to see, of course, bikini-clad women made up as zombies. But
Sexy zombie nurses.
But budget cuts and what have you. You can't do everything you want.
So now we mentioned it, John and I mentioned it on the last episode. Season 2 apparently is going to feel more like 2 season 1s because there's going to be, was it 7?
We'll have a year in between.
Right, like 7 or 8 weeks in between, I think.
Well, yeah, it's from October 16th through like 2 weeks before Christmas. We have Pod 1, if you will, and then Pod 2 will air starting in February. So the first week of February.